Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of KeMedicine. This is KeMedicine Volume 3. I'm here with the illustrious, the prestigious, the world-renowned scientist and naturopath, Dr. Inky. Hand claps in the chat. Hand claps in the chat.
Yeah. I appreciate and love that that intro and the ability to sit across from you and have this dialogue every week. This is we going somewhere. We cooking.
It's an absolute honor to be here. It's an absolute honor to talk to you. Been chasing you down, pause for a while now, and we're finally here. We're gonna jump right into this thing. We're gonna get to the secret ingredient of the Fountain of Youth, but first we got to do a little flashback. A little flashback in the time. We got to go into
like this flashback might line up with your spaces earlier somehow. Like just somehow I feel like they're connected.
Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna share my screen here. How does that look? Can you guys see that?
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
You can see that, but the audience can't. Hold on. How would I do this? All right, so here's what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to bring it up, and you're gonna have to play it on your phone at the same time. You have to watch it on your phone. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll put it on the screen, and I'll give a countdown, and you press. Well, let me know when you're ready to press play, and we'll watch it with the same time.
No, I could just mute my mic real quick.
Right. But tell me when you're ready to play it. Then I'll do a countdown.
This is the clip you sent me, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
That's one. We couldn't have came from the monkey because we never had the monkey blood. For two, white people have 4% Neanderthal DNA, and they're only 96% human being. Black people are 100% human being. We have no Neanderthal DNA. The Neanderthal DNA comes from the monkey and the canine. So we don't have any DNA tracing us back to monkey and canine. How could we have evolved from that? What are you talking about? This is just common observation. Now, when we want to keep continuing to butcher the evolution theory, also we have to understand that no matter what you want to say, evolution, physics, math, 1 + 1 is 2, we know that all life comes from it and is sustained by that sun. Now, why is this important? Because whether you want to call it Ra, the sun, they create another word for tomorrow. Guess what melanin is? Condensed sunlight. So everything created by the sun has melanin in it. Water even has melanin in it. Trees have melanin in it. Oxygen has melanin in it. Why is it important? Because the Caucasian is void of the melanin that we possess. We possess uromelanin and neuromelanin. And why is neuromelanin important? Because it has nerves. That's why it's called neuromelanin. And these nerves actually connect your thoughts to the creator. The Caucasian does not have neuromelanin because he's not a natural part of creation, and the creator does not share a communicative medium with him. So how the hell did we evolve from something that the creator has no contact with? 85% of Caucasians have calcified pineal glands. The soul enters the body through the pineal gland. This is why babies have a soft spot on your head.
All right. A lot was said right there. There's a lot of claims made there. And before I get into my questions, any initial thoughts on what you heard?
From me?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to apologize to everybody for I just want to apologize to everybody. So what happens is, I try not to toot my own horn. I try not to toot my own horn, but I created this whole universe. Like I created this universe when Young Pharaoh and Nature Boy were doing their relationship, whatever that was that they had going on, respect to the alternative community, they were watching Sonetta. They were watching, they were fans of the page. And so there's only one person that was on Sonetta's platform with that kind of information, and that was me. And so young Pharaoh is one of the thousands of people that have created whole platforms and, by stealing and remixing Dr. Inky, right? And unfortunately, this clip, because we make social media videos to influence. That's the whole idea of influencer, right? So sometimes people may get it confused, like, well, if you're online and you're teaching, you want people to learn, and imitation is the highest form of flattery, et cetera, et cetera. But here's the problem: when you don't reference your teacher, when you don't reference where you're getting your information, you don't create a bridge so that you can get tightened up, right? Like I always kept my bridges so that I could always be tightened up, whether even if it's live on stage, Dr. Africa is right here, like, nah, Inky, what about like Dr. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you have to keep those, So my main thing is people grabbing something, not really doing the research, not having the connection with me because they're trying to create, their own obfuscated light, like the moon. Like I'm the sun shining and you trying to be like the moon and reflect my light to the people, but it's like a lesser version. So I have to apologize for this, because what he did was he took and very badly remixed a debate Natural Tahuti and I had years and years before anybody even knew young Pharaoh was alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and Natural Tahuti had a debate on evolution. I'm the original anti-Charles Darwin theory guy, and so I was the one who dug through the files and found what they were doing in Britain and brought that to the community in terms of those early tests where they were saying that Europeans and Asians have anywhere from 4 to 9% Neanderthal DNA. Africans don't have that, right? So that's a real thing. That's a real thing. But he goes off the deep end with the melanin is.
I got some point. I got some points here, right? So
okay, yeah.
Let me.
I'm sorry.
Run them down.
I get triggered. I get easily triggered with this type of foolishness. You know what I'm saying?
I want. There were 5 points he made, and I just want you, before you explain them, just tell me true or false as I go through these 5 points. Just true or false. You ready?
Okay.
Melanin is condensed sunlight.
False.
Okay, false. Water has melanin in it.
Oh my God. There was such rapid fire foolishness. I think that one escaped my attention. Okay, so that's definitely false.
Okay. Oxygen has melanin in it.
False.
Neuromelanin has nerves.
Out of context.
Okay.
So that's not true or false. I'm just gonna, because that's true, but it's out of context. So it's like, yeah, it's one of those things where had he, reached out as an actual student, I could have been able to be like, no, this is, yeah. So that's out of context.
Okay. Caucasians don't have neuromelanin.
That is a super false. Yeah, that's super false. That's insanely false. I've never read a book on anatomy false. I don't understand neurochemistry false. I'm probably borderline illiterate false. That's like crazy. Like this is what I'm saying. Like this is where I get upset about the whole influence with people stealing the drip, is because what happens is I'm probably the worst marketer that you'll ever see on the internet that's been able to sustain himself over time on the internet. So people will steal my stuff. And then because I'm also bad with relationships, people are able to cultivate larger followings than me with my information. And then they go out there and then totally misrepresent it and do that with it. Like, because now what you're doing is you're taking the Neanderthal DNA and then you're like superimposing the other ideas on top of the Neanderthal DNA. So it's almost like, because you have Neanderthal DNA, you don't have melanin, you don't have neuromelanin. Like, no. Even the Neanderthals had melanin. Like, we have to relax. Like, that's just, all of that is bad, and it's all crazy.
So melanin is not condensed sunlight.
No. Melanin is not condensed sunlight. But here's the thing. Young Pharaoh is one of those anus chakra guys. You know what I'm saying? So he believes that there's a chakra inside his anus that's called the male G spot. And that, in order to be a man, you have to engage in, you have to receive anal sex. And he's got a lot of different ideas that, that are, he's just got a lot of ideas that are not scientific that he puts, so he'll start off, like I said, with that one idea, boom, 4% Neanderthal DNA. And then from there, it's your spirit enters the body through the pineal gland, and white people have calcified pineal gland. Like, that's all crazy. Your pineal gland is supposed to have calcification. Like, that's not, that's crazy. It's called calcite crystals. It's the same calcium crystals that are in the pineal gland are also in your ear, right? It converts sound to digital, that's the thing with all of this misinformation, because you see, these are chakra guys. So this chakra stuff, so the pineal gland is the third eye, which is also the eye of Heru, and that's all foolishness. Like that, those are not facts. That's trying to merge Indian superstition with Kemetic science, and then try to superimpose that on modern science, and all of that is like super foolishness. The pineal gland is not a third eye. It's not even an eye. It's not even a vestigial eye. None of that. There's no scientific real evidence of that. If anything, your pineal gland is much closer to a third ear than a third eye.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Because the same calcium crystals are in your ears. It converts, sound. These are piezoelectric crystals that also glow. So it's, they also, light up. So it's different. The pineal gland is, it's a different,
Is that why you can chant certain mantras and sort of activate the pineal gland through sound?
Yeah, there's no such thing as activating the pineal gland. We
invigorate or energize?
We just have to, no. See, there's certain language that has seeped into the community through the chakrologists. And those guys, it's a drug-induced bisexual male community that has slowly invaded other spaces by dressing up their drug, ditty parties. They're, instead of baby oil, maybe they're using like Egyptian musk or whatever, but they've invaded spaces by hiding their, so terms like activate the pineal gland is, you got to take that out. That's totally crazy right there. There's no such thing as activating the pineal gland. If your pineal gland was not quote unquote activated, you wouldn't be able to like get to sleep. Every day, serotonin is converted into melatonin in the pineal gland. Not only wouldn't you be able to sleep, but melatonin is such a powerful antioxidant that you probably would have had like brain cancer or something crazy a long time ago. Like, so yeah, everybody from a baby, like if you eat McDonald's every day and drink like a 6-pack of 50-cent malt liquor, pineal gland still activated. Like it's working till dead. Like that's not a real thing.
Water has melanin in it.
Yeah, that's definitely, bro, before I was even heavy with science and all of that, like just out of pure hobby and just like just as a kid, you know what I'm saying? My mom's used the phrase like H2O, like around the house, like, you know. So it's like H2O, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hydrogen and it's oxygen. It's two gases. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, pun intended, check this out. You can't be more transparent. You know what I'm saying? Like you literally can't be more transparent. Like, so the problem is, and this is another reason why my relationships aren't always that strong in certain spaces, is because I've never been one not to highlight how dumb somebody else is. And so the problem is, there are people that will hear that clip and they will go, "Oh, Pharaoh went in." And so what happens is, when I come behind that and I shred that and go, no, 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 that's like high mixed with illiteracy, mixed with scanning YouTubes and splashes of Dr. Inky. Like, that's just gobbledygook. Not only do they instantly realize that Pharaoh's an idiot. He wasn't, he was an entertainer. He wasn't teaching, he was entertaining. Like, that wasn't science. They instantly feel a way because they realize, like, wait a minute, I thought Pharaoh went in. Like, so how, wait a minute, how far down am I on the totem pole if I thought that was sound information? Like, I thought that was high level information right there. Like, how did that get past me? It just shows how little people are actually studying. And that's one of the reasons why, I was always like a black sheep amongst folks, because science, anatomy, biochemistry, neurochemistry is not even in the same universe as history or archaeology and things like that. And so, because in the Black community, thanks to Elijah Muhammad and Father Allah and things like that, any sort of teaching, any sort of knowledge, we just, we call it dropping science. So because we got that euphemistic idea of dropping science, it's like, if we're not discussing pop culture, then we drop in science. But, somebody will come along and sit beside you, like along came a spider, you know what I'm saying? Like, a spider will come sit beside you, and then you'll be caught in the web. Like, that's not science. You sound insane right now. You sound crazy. You don't even know what you're like. Yeah, neuromelanin is called neuromelanin because it's melanin with nerves. Like, bro, that right there is enough to make me start like a war. Like, I will clip that, and like, I'll make a meme of that. Like, how dumb Black folks. And here's the thing. These people get a lot of views. And let me tell you a story. And it taught me so much, right? It taught me a lot, and it changed my life. That's how important this story is. It changed my life, right? I'm the first person on Sign Editor's platform to reach 100,000 views in a video, right? A video we did, got a bunch of views, right? So there's a time period where I, like most people, now this is before there was monetization. So there's no monetization. This is early YouTube days. This is pioneer YouTube days. So, but I, like most people, I believe like views was like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so something was always curious to me. Like, like we would do events, like the community was still a community back then. We hadn't sold out yet. You know what I'm saying? Now we live in the afterlife of the sellout. So now we don't even control our content to a large extent. You know what I'm saying? Outside of Hotep Jesus, because Hotep Jesus will, okay, this content's acceptable on this platform. Okay, we'll just find another platform where this is, but YouTube edits everything. So you have to have, you have to be mindful of what you're saying. You can lose your video, lose a channel. Like, it's so. But back when we had actual community, when we were saying whatever we wanted to say, we rent the video, we film it, package it, market our own material, totally unedited, totally, like it's
unfiltered and raw.
Man. So I believe that views was everything. And so, you know, when a video, I remember when I first got my channel because, you know, I had beef with Sa and them and they wouldn't put me on their platforms and Rich and them was boycotting me and all this and all that. I put my first video up and I had like 15 views, you know what I'm saying? And it took me probably like a couple of months to get my first video to have 50 views. I remember celebrating it. Like I took my family to New Rock City. You know what I'm saying? We drove from the Bronx to New Rock City. I got a video with 50 views. I thought I was the man. Anyway, on as more views come in, you know, over time, and I'm on other platforms and we squash stuff and we'll, you know, you get 5,000-10,000 views, you thinking people seen it. Because we'll do an event and be like, yo, you seen the video, you know, I'm kind of like picking up on the mic. I'm like, yeah, so you remember we was talking about on the video? People like, what video? You know what I'm saying? So in my mind, I'm trying to figure out like, who are these views? Like, who's watching these videos, right? So that just was a curious thing in my back of my mind, you know, filed away mental Rolodex. Fast forward, much more years later, right? I'm living in Georgia. I'm working at Verizon Wireless, right? And, you know, I'm working at the Verizon Wireless that's inside Circuit City. So when I mention Circuit City, you can tell how old this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think Circuit Cities exist anymore. But
Yeah,
they used to have a little booth. Yeah, they used to have a little booth. And so I'm alone in there. No customers. Even there's no customers in Circuit City. It's dead. But we got all these working phones. You know what I'm saying? This is back in the days where there's no unlimited internet, right? So now all the phone plans come with unlimited. Back then, internet was pay to play, period. Like, so while I'm at work, I'm using all the demo phones for free internet so I could watch YouTube. So anyway, my supervisor, Dell, who's like a super traditional white boy, like super traditional white boy. Me and Dell tight though, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he's hardcore white boy, and I'm the black kid from 158th Street in the Bronx, and we somehow working in this store together. You know what I'm saying? He's my boss. So he like to do, you know, like they'll just be on one sometimes. So he sneaks up on me from the back of the store. Bam! What are you doing? What you watching? Right up. Why are you not doing what you're supposed to be? Right up. So now we jump into an argument because he said he gonna write me up. So I'm like, all right, Daddy, write me up. Because when you write me up, I'm just gonna go to such and such and get you rolled up because you be at the gym while you're supposed to be here. So we going back and forth, and he's like, "Yo, bro, I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm not writing you up. I be watching that same channel." I'm like, "Wait, what? What channel you be watching? You don't even know what I was watching." It was like, "Yeah, I'll be watching that channel. Son, I'll be watching that." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Bro, we watch that like every day. Me and all my boys before we go out. Like when we come home from work, we get beers and all that, and we watch all the illiterate guys from fresh out of prison, you know, like just blithering idiots, and we, you know, like we crack up. I didn't know that you guys would, you know, you would watch that. Like those are the dumbest guys." And he's just going in on how illiterate and dumb and like, and I'm like, oh my God. I just got my answer. I just got my answer. Now I know who's watching these videos. So my mind was blown after that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I felt the way a little bit, but the broadening of my horizon right there was like, oh, wow, wait a minute. People are so thirsty for views, you don't even know who's watching. You don't even know who's watching. And so what happens is when these platforms broadcast out, we don't really realize that we're broadcasting to the world and we're representing a demographic, whether we like it or not. Like inside the space, oh, I'm not with them. Oh, he's not with us. I'm not with him. He not with us. You know, like we got beef. We not, you know, like we not together. We not, nah, I'm not, I don't believe in it, you know. But to the world, we represent one group of people. And so that's where I always had this thing with people just remixing your information, and then like, you have these conversations and they go out of their way to like reference, like a white institution or a white scientist, or, Dr. Otto Warburg said blah, blah, blah. But your brother, you're going to steal his information because, he getting 500 views and you're going to go on your channel and get 5,000 views. So you can steal his information and blast it out to the point where more people hear it coming from you. And for me, the only problem I've ever had with that is you are totally misrepresenting me. And then you're misrepresenting everybody that I represent, because I represent the Carol Barnes, the T. Owens Moores, the Dr. Africas. Like I sat down with them, got scolded by these folks. Like I did my, like how back in the days in hip hop, you had to carry crates for the, you know what I'm saying? Like I paid my dues in that regard. So like you can't just come along and totally misrepresent a whole entire culture going back maybe 50, 60 years just for likes, clicks, and views real quick to run up some numbers on the page. And like, so I just, that's where it gets triggering for me. Like I just, it's all bad. He looks like an idiot. He makes the culture look stupid. He makes, people that have that experience with that and they hear those things, whenever they hear those phrases anywhere else, they immediately lump you in with that kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, so then you got to do more. It's like, it's way easier to teach a person that's their cup is empty as opposed to a person whose cup is full of foolishness. Because then I got to empty out the foolishness to try to refill it back up with, you know what I'm saying? And it's crazy.
Oxygen has melanin in it.
So so like I don't like, these are top 10 dumbest things ever said in the community ever. Like I don't know how dumb, like, and this is what I'm saying, like, you dropping science, like how could anything be in oxygen? Like that's literally the definition of an element, is that it's like, it's just that, like that's what an atom is. It's, unless we go on subatomic, you know what I'm saying? But then that wouldn't be melanin, you know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, it's just, it's just as dumb as can, like, and there's no sugarcoating it, because there's going to be people out there that like Pharaoh, they like chakras and all kinds of foolishness. So I'm like, well, Inky could have probably, he's saying dumb, he's calling him an idiot. He's like, Inky, you could probably address the brother differently. Like, no, I can't. In fact, those are, from what's passing across my mind, those are highly respectable terms. Like I'm doing the best I can do right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's idiocracy at its best. It's crazy.
I'd like to say that I did see Shaka in that video.
Yeah, but if you notice, Shaka's like off to the side, and he's allowing Seti and Pharaoh to really hog that camera and that spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Like Shaka has a presence. You know what I'm saying? So you can tell that Shaka is not, that's not his thing. So he doesn't get, none of that splashes onto his jacket. That's all young Pharaoh. And unfortunately, Seti ruined himself with young Pharaoh. He ruined himself with young Pharaoh.
Seti was my fave, man.
Listen, Seti was a lot of our favorites because of the energy. But what happened was, when Pharaoh came out, right, the first thing he wanted to do was scam people, right? So he realized Polite was scamming. He wanted Polite to teach him how to scam. He got mad when Polite didn't want to teach him how to do it. And it just was a whole crazy fiasco. And then, the information was twisted. He wasn't teaching the right stuff. And so he was just like a loose cannon, but he had charisma. And so a lot of people liked him and gravitated to him. So we were kind of like hoping somebody would be able to put him under their wing and get him together and use the influence or the fact that, he had a magnetic personality to kind of, to do something with that. And we thought Seti was the guy. We thought Seti was going to put Pharaoh under his wing. And then it turns out somehow Pharaoh put Seti under his wing, and it was crazy. It just turned into the blind leading the blind, and just it just got really bad. It got crazy. It got dark for a minute, because in order to follow young Pharaoh into his realm of idiocracy, Seti had to abandon everything that he built, including going on a tour teaching that literally his predecessors were all wrong and they didn't know anything about Kemet or the metal netcher, and the elders were stupid and blah, 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 blah. And it was a whole mess. It was a fiasco. Wow. It was a black, a black eye on the community. You know what I'm saying? Like it was rough.
Damn.
This is a community of scholarship, you know what I'm saying? And it's underground scholarship because, it's an extension of the Underground Railroad type of vibe. Like we teach the things to each other that mainstream or academia is unwilling to teach for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? Like we've created our own, scholars, and we provide the information that the people need that they just can't get anywhere else. That right there marked the beginning of just usurping the people's attention just for the views and the likes. And that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like that was going to happen as a byproduct of the digital conscious, like that was just bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? Because he had no ties to the actual real community. You know what I'm saying? He has no idea about the VCR, DVD era, or, being at community events and that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been going to community events, like I was one of those kids running around at events I can't even remember. You know what I'm saying? When I was 8, 9 years old, when everybody had on kente cloth and dashikis and, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so.
All right. So I just want to make a quick announcement. If you're in the chat, we're selling angel checks today. So,
oh my goodness!
What are you doing?
What are you doing? What? Yo, is that what we doing today?
Type your date of birth in the chat.
Oh my goodness!
Type your date of birth in the chat. I got a checkbook right here. We gonna write angel checks. Okay, we got the checks right here. Okay, we writing angel checks out today. So if you want me to bless your bank account, type your date of birth in the chat. We gonna bless y'all before we get out of here. Just make sure.
Ugly.
I see Donald.
Right there.
Donald 10-6-1986. He's a Libra. I'm gonna write you out. Go ahead, drop us a gifted sub. We're gonna bless your bank account today. I'm gonna write y'all an angel check right now. 10,
you trolling, but I credit Bobby Hemmett with starting that foolishness that became the young Pharaoh, that foolishness that we just heard right there. You know what I'm saying? Like and Bobby Hemmett was like, I had a lot of respect for Bobby Hemmett at a point in time, because he was the first person that put me in front of like I ain't gonna say a real audience, but he was doing a lecture. And he was coming in town and he was late as usual. And I was up and coming, and they was like, well, go ahead, get the mic, keep the crowd, take care of till he get here, you got this. You know what I'm saying? And so I opened up for Bobby Hemmett. That was like a serious thing on my resume. I was like,
that's huge.
Like,
that's huge. He's a legend.
At the time, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to, rest in greatness to Azariah, one of my mentors, and Mfu Dishi and Mama Jade and but I had a lot of respect for them because they had like, they were mentoring me, and Booker T. Coleman, and you know what I'm saying, like those were my mentors in terms of public speaking and teaching. And so, you know, this was a moment, like, you know, Bobby Hemmett coming to town, sold out events, standing room only. Yeah, you come on up and open up for Bobby, and you know, woo, woo, woo. And so I'm glowing. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming off the, you know, I come off the stage now watching Bobby. He going in this thing, and the end of the lecture come up, and he goes, "Yeah, you know, now is the time what everybody been waiting for." You know what I'm saying? And so they hit me on the side, like, "Yeah, you want to pull out a few dollars for this, man? He about to bless everybody. You know, like this is it right here." And so I'm like, "Oh, word, what's happening right now? You know, like what's going on? I need it. You know, I got babies. I always got babies. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, what's happening? How we gonna get?" And so he like, "Yeah, you know, I'm about to sell everybody these angel checks, and you know, woo, woo, woo." But I'm like, and it's people that I have a lot of respect for that's excited. They waving their money in their hand. They like, and it just like everything had crumbled in that. Like it was just a span of like a few hours where I went from like on top of the world to like looking around at people that I thought were like intellectual giants. Like, you getting ready to buy an angel check. Like, this is crazy. I don't know who to blame more. Like, should I be more angry at Bobby, or should I be more angry that people are allowing the behavior? Because if people aren't supporting, right, the behavior disappears. Like if people didn't support Pharaoh saying there's melanin in oxygen and melanin in water and, you know, all this crazy stuff, or Brother Yaki teaching that, you got to have, you know, constant, you know, input into your male G spot up your anus, and, you know, like if people weren't supporting these ideas, you know what I'm saying? So I always get mad with the audience. And that's another reason why people get mad with me, because I be holding the audience accountable. I be like, no. It's not this idiot in front of the camera. These people are doing what you like. They're getting the views and the likes and the clicks because they're saying what you're interested in. So this tells me about you at home that So
Maverick asked a question, and I want to answer it. Maybe you can answer it. And I gotta tell you, I love Pharaoh. That's little bro. I love him to death. But he asked why nobody helped Pharaoh, just finger being pointed. So let me handle this. I spoke to Pharaoh on the phone one day, and I'm maybe like a decade or two older than Pharaoh. And we get to chopping it up and we building. And I'm a slick cat. Like, I know how to test people. So I told Pharaoh there's this idea I wanted to work on with him. But I didn't give him all the details of the execution. I knew how it had to be executed. The very next week, Pharaoh just went ahead and stole the idea. Didn't execute it properly. So Pharaoh's not exactly the type of person you can help out, from my experience, my personal experience. Now, I love Pharaoh. I love his energy, but that's what he did to me. So I can only imagine what he's done to others. That's my own personal experience. So you're saying there's finger pointing, but I got to tell you, Pharaoh looking out for Pharaoh.
And let me add this to it. Because I know people have selective hearing, right? So let me say this again, you know what I'm saying, for the people all the way in the back with the selective hearing, right? It's not finger pointing, right? It's called stealing. It's called stealing, and it's done all over the place, right? So it's like, right now, I have a bunch of people that watch my channel, but they won't hit like. The reason why they won't hit the like button is because when you hit the like button, it creates a record that you're watching this video, and all your subscribers now get to see you're watching this video, because Pharaoh is in the group of people that likes to tell people that they're downloading information from the stars and the aliens. Like he He's been on several platforms telling people that aliens kidnapped him, and that's where he got this information from. So it's not about like, why don't you help? See, in order for me to help, in order for you to be taught, you have to acknowledge that you're a student. In order to acknowledge that you're a student, you have to acknowledge your teacher. Right? So you have to, like there's unlimited amount of references that I give to Dr. Sebi, Dr. Africa, Jude Pulcrum, I mean, the list is endless. You know what I'm saying? Robert O. Becker and just the list. It doesn't take anything away from me. You know what I'm saying? But in order for you to be, helped and critiqued and taught, you got to realize, and when you come from that line, right, you realize that student and teacher mean the same thing. In the pop culture, when you're coming off the street, the term student is almost derogatory. It's like, student, I ain't just student, like it's like, but in a scholarly universe, when you come from a scholarly universe, a student is a term of endearment, because everybody doesn't accept you to be their representative. When somebody's like, oh, that's a student of mine, that's saying like, no, you can get that. Yeah, you can go through them and get that info like that. I'm certifying. It's the hood certification. Like, I'm certifying that person knows what I know. So you can go ahead and, so it's an honor to be able to be like, oh, no. I studied under, or even from a distance, I studied their material. Like, I'm a student of XYZ. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's a break in that mindset. And that also comes with, like I was saying, the digital universe. So because you don't want people to know where you're getting the info, because you're living in fear that when they see that they're getting whatever they're getting from you and it's watered down, they can go get the real or the pure somewhere else. You won't be able to build your following. They'll go over here and get the real, they'll go get the real deal somewhere else.
Scarcity mindset.
Yeah. And so it really boiled down to, like, people understanding platform dynamics. If he speaks to, if he's got 3,000 subs and I got 50,000 subs or 100,000 subs, I can just fish for content on his platform and then drop it on my platform. And so many more people are going to be exposed to it. I don't have to, I don't have to do that. But the problem with that is when the teacher comes to correct your paper, like your quiz, your answer sheet, and your answer sheet, look, you get an F. When you get that F, you got to hold that. And there's no, well, why didn't you help, blah, blah, blah. You got to ask for tutoring. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be willing to get tutoring. Like, that's why we have books. And I still have people, like, in order to be a teacher continuously, you have to be a student continuously. That's the thing. In order for you to continue, because what happens is people get interested in what you're saying and they want to learn that from you. Okay, boom. That has a window, whether it's a day, a week, a month, a decade. At some point, I will have learned whatever it is you're teaching. If you have nothing else, then I become now a teacher of that, and I go and find other things I'm interested in to study and learn. If you want to continue to be a teacher forever, like you're choosing teaching as a profession, then that means you're also accepting as a lifelong challenge holding the mantle as a student. Because the moment you stop being a student, your teacher card is expired. You run out of new things to say. So that's why I've been so consistent on the internet for so long. As you watch people come, rise, blow up, and then look like Flavor Flav later, like, I'm still here teaching because I've never stopped studying. I've never stopped reading. I've never stopped hunting rare material, rare books. Like, I've never stopped, like, being a student. I've never been ashamed of being a student. So that's where the problem is, the ideology surrounding the concept of being a student and then trying to build a platform off of, something that you're not really living.
Yeah, what you said about the student teacher dynamic is true, because the moment Shaka said, "Yo, all right, you get to learn under me," I thought I made it, and I get to be
Yeah,
Shaka's student.
yeah.
I didn't take it as a diss. I thought it was an honor. I'm like, then I ran to the internet like, yo, guess who Shaka new student, niggas? You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that was an exquisite honor to be taught in the Nile Valley movement, according to Shaka, And then I chased you down because I wanted to learn the science. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm a student of Inky's now, nigga. I'm unstoppable. I got the science. I got the KeMedicine. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really love, like, if like I talk about money a lot, talk about economics a lot. And I always make sure I tell my audience, I'm a student of this information. Because I never want them to think that I've mastered this information, mostly because I got imposter syndrome, but I want to, if I have a mastery of a subject, I'm going to tell you, I got a mastery over the subject. And when it comes to business development, I have a mastery over that. When it comes to marketing, I have a mastery over that. That I will never say I'm a student of, although I still study it. But this other information, like economics and money, I'm still a student. There's a lot I don't know. So you're right. There's a sense of humility that has to come along with just admitting and saying, yo, I got a student. Also, here's the funny thing about scarcity mindset. Cats never want to cite their sources because they want to be the source. But what I noticed is, even if you give them the source, only 1% of people are actually going to go to the source.
And here's the thing. But you can be both. That's the problem. You can be the source and cite your sources, because what happens is you have to build a database to spring off from. So there's a point where you're studying, and then you run into a space where if you're really passionate about a thing, you dive into it as deep as you can. And whether, again, a month, a year, a decade, 2 decades, at some point, you're going to run out of information, and you're still going to have questions and ideas that you have to now explore and be the person now. Now you are qualified because you've studied everything in the space. You know what's there, what's not there. Now you have to take it on your shoulders to go further. So now what you add to the space, you're the source of, right? But you still have references. And the crazy thing is, this is literally how your brain works. This is how your brain works. When you don't have, exposure to a given thing, you don't have neural networks for it. Every time you get exposed to a new type of information, initially you have to create the neural network. So that's where it seems really difficult and hard to do. And after a while, you have the neural network. Every time you're exposed to it, you're just strengthening that neural network. At some point, the neural network will be so strong, those algorithms will be committed to memory, and then you can do that without even thinking about it. Like the first time you try to ride a bike and you fall down, you have no neural networks. You keep on doing it and you keep on doing it. At some point, you can ride a bike while doing other things. You don't even need to think about riding the bike. You can ride the bike while sending texts on one phone. You got your phone. Like sometimes I have it becomes dangerous how well you can ride a bike, because you forget that you need to be careful. So you be on the phone, like watching the YouTube. You're riding down the street watching YouTube. Like you might get hit by a car because, so. But that's how your brain actually works. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, and that's the science of a pyramid. You don't get to an apex without the foundation. Like that's cornerstone, that's masonry. Like there has to be a foundation that you stand on. If you don't have a foundation, that's, you the first little piggy. You know what I'm saying? Your house is built out of straw. You know what I'm saying? So it's, unfortunately, there are people that get pulled in by personalities, and that's the entertainment part. When we do these types of conversations and discussions, I learned a long time ago, for every 2 or 3 people that are watching the content to study, there's 97 other people that are watching just for edutainment. Like they just, this is a different type of sitcom for them. So they just watching to see, oh, who's beefing with who said what, what's, like that kind of, they're not really interested in the study of the information. So it's always going to be, the 1%, the 2%, the 3%. It's not even 5%. It's the 1%.
That's why I never feel threatened. I never feel threatened to say, yo, go get your information from here, go get your information from there, because it's only going to be one fucking Hotep Jesus, okay? And nobody entertains like I do. You see what I'm saying? So it's me being secure in myself and knowing that, yeah, I got students. Yeah, I got teachers, and yeah, there's, you're gonna get stepped on information that you can go get directly from them, but they're not gonna deliver it to you the way I am. And I think that's what Pharaoh should have leaned on and just said, yo, here's my sources, but Inky ain't gonna give it the sauce that Pharaoh's gonna give it, because Pharaoh's gonna add a little different thing to it, but he's still got to cite his source. So when people want to take the study seriously, they can get that serious information. And I think that's
people got to know this too. Listen, I like the analogy you use, because people have to know when you're adding seasoning or sauce to a dish versus when you've changed the dish completely. Like that's not like Hove said, those ain't Rolex diamonds. What you done to that? You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't, you went crazy right there. Adding sauce to it is where he goes, just to keep it in context of the clip, adding sauce to what I'm saying is where he goes, well, Black folks are the only humans because we don't have Neanderthal DNA. That's inaccurate, and it's a stretch, you know what I'm saying? But I can see where you added some sauce right there. Like you might have added way too much sauce. Like there may be very little actual on the plate besides sauce, but I can still see what's happening with the dish, right? Once you go, white people don't have melanin and they don't have neuromelanin, that is no longer adding sauce. Because some people will be like, well, that's what he's doing. He adding this. No. That's not adding sauce.
He didn't change the whole recipe. That's a whole new dish.
Man, that's like play food. That ain't even like you replaced a nutritious quinoa salad, kale. Like you took a kale salad and turned it into Play-Doh. Like that's not even something that's edible right there. Like that's just crazy right there. Like, and the crazy thing is, in 2025, every so often I'll stumble across pockets of people that A, they either still believe those ideas, or B, they still believe that we believe those ideas because they've heard things, and because on video, things live forever. Things live forever on video. And so,
I just like to say that I'm still a huge fan of Pharaoh. I'm one of his biggest fans. If he started up a YouTube again tomorrow, whatever, I'm gonna be right there. I think the kid is absolutely hilarious. I used to sit in bed and just crack the fuck up, because
comedy.
It's pure comedy nonstop. Like nobody.
Here's the problem. You are sharp enough to discern. You can do that. You understand it's pure comedy. The point, where it becomes problematic is because people are studying that. And they go, oh yeah, Pharaoh's dropping science. And so now they're listening to that. And now then they turn around and they go, yeah, I'm about to drop this science because I've been studying young Pharaoh. And then they can reference somebody like Bobby Hemmett to take it back beyond Pharaoh and go, well, yeah, well, Bobby was saying the same thing. Bobby said that he was constipated, sat on the toilet, and aliens came out of his butt. Like, Bobby said all kinds of crazy things. Bobby said that you had to have male gay sex in order to get into heaven. Like that's what Bobby Hemmett was teaching. That's what Brother Panic was teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, we listen to people talk and we listen to them talk and talk and talk, and we'll highlight 2 or 3 things that we like, and we'll forget all the other things. I don't. There's some scary things that people say and teach, and it just, I'll be like, oh, that's it. I'm done as a viewer. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like when Pharaoh was doing his martial arts thing, I was supporting that. Like I was like, you know what? Bygones be bygones. When he's in that ring, he's representing us all. I want him to be Floyd Mayweather out there. You know what I'm saying? But when he started his own community, and then he made a rule for his community that pornography was illegal in his community unless it was man on man or woman on woman, I was like, wait, I was just like,
wait, what?
Boom. See that part right there? That face.
Who said
he
that?
made a rule. Pharaoh, he made a rule that you couldn't watch porn unless it was same-sex porn, like gay porn. So I just, there was certain things that's just like red flags. And I was like, see, this is where that anal chakra, see, y'all are missing the warning signs because y'all are so enamored with the personality. You're missing these other pieces. And so he's doing these other interviews later, and like his neck is moving and his tongue keep coming out. And I'm like, wait a minute, what? Please do not send me any more clips, because the nature of me, like people send me clips like, yo, Inky, you seen this, or you heard about this, I'm like, bro, I can't even watch stuff like that. I don't know. I'm never going to get to the words because the mannerisms and all that, it's just too much other communication. You got to remember, communication is 80% nonverbal. So once you got these other, chakra, anus communications going on, like I'm cool, bro. Respect to everybody out there. You're doing what you're doing, but I'm not interested.
Well, shout out to Godbody, Willie Will. Thank you for the 5. Get yourselves a diesel. Before we leave out of here, we're about to talk about botany oil, but before we leave out of here, I want everybody to just get their checks out. We got moon rocks for sale coming soon. Okay, there was.
I think we have to remove. I think we have to do batana oil like next week. We can't. We can't. Yeah, we can't. Yeah, we can't put batana oil in the mix to this. This is angel checks and there's melanin and oxygen.
We got the moon rocks for sale. An alien had crash landed in my backyard. It's the only rock in New Jersey like this. I done broke it off into pieces. If you hold it in your hand, you get good luck, and it activates your melanin. So I'll be selling moon rocks later.
Listen, I got a book coming out, right? People know me, they're like, Inky, you have a perpetual book coming out. Like there's a book, it's always, but so there's a book coming out, right? And we go a little bit deeper into the question of neurodegeneration, dementia, and we go into some new spaces. We talk about some new ideas. And this is the reason why, we have this conundrum that we're dealing with. And the conundrum is, we're supposed to have dominant genetics, right? We're supposed to have dominant genetics. And, white people don't even have melanin, and, neuromelanin has nerves, and, the problem is we lead all the disease metrics, right? It's so bad with brain disease that, they had to cast Samuel Jackson when they did the special. They did a special like series. It wasn't an actual like documentary, but it was like a series based on the character having like bad Alzheimer's and dementia, and they figuring out this like, like experimental drug that gives you more time or whatever the case may be. But they had to cast, Black people for this because it's the same with like all forms of type 2 diabetes, or diabetes that are related to type 2 anyway, because that's expanded so much. We're out there, and the reason is we're ignorant to our bodies. We're ignorant to how our bodies work. And we're stuck for the most part between academia, who because we may no longer deal with racism like person to person, like maybe 200 years ago. The problem is academia hasn't shifted much. So academia still has blind spots in it, right? And so we need to be able to educate ourselves. And the problem with that is when you try to come into our collective, there's a lot more chakra, melanin in the air and the water talk than there is actual science. So because we wind up ignorant of ourselves, we don't really understand that more than 50% of dementia is preventable. More than 50% is preventable, and that's from the Parkinson's side and the Alzheimer's side, because we just don't understand, we don't take time to really get into neurochemistry. We'll rather tune into somebody talking foolishness like, oh yeah, this is melanin that has nerves, like, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to really getting into something that could be life-changing up until the point where it's too late. Because the thing with like brain disease has the longest incubation. It has the longest incubation. So by the time that you're looking for help with your brain disease, you have missed the window. So what I mean in specifics is dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all that stuff typically shows up 60s, 70s, unless you're into some hard drugs or whatever, then maybe in your 50s, it'll show up a little earlier, right? The problem is by then it's advanced. It started in your teens or your 20s. It takes 30, 40 years for that to incubate. You have 100 billion neurons. So when you first start having issues with 1, 2, 5, or 10, that's not going to affect you. It's a buildup. And so when you go and you park your car at a movie theater or a mall and you come out and you don't know where your car is, that's an early warning sign that you have dementia settling in. That's not like a brain fart. That's a warning sign that it's happening. And typically, we're in a world now where it's happening at an advanced rate because the machines have taken over all the tasks that build your brain. We let the machines count for us. If you go to a store, the people that work the cash register do not know how to calculate change quickly without using the cash register. Some of the people watching, their children may not know how to calculate change from $1 or change from a 10 or a 20 quickly without using a calculator or their cell phone. Like, they're reliant on the computers to count for them, right? They're reliant on the computers. Like, people ask me all the time, Inky, why don't you do audiobooks? That would go against the nature of what it is that we're doing, because audiobooks don't stimulate and build the brain the same way as reading an actual book does. And so there are studies out there to show when people stop reading, the brain starts to atrophy. The body is built that way. It's maximum efficiency, especially with the things that consume a lot of energy. And we know that by sheer weight, the brain consumes the most amount of oxygen and sugar. Like, it's the most expensive real estate in the body, in terms of size, but versus how much energy it consumes. So anything in your body that your body's not using, it will start diverting resources away from. And this is why when you look at people that have Alzheimer's, even people with diabetes have a much smaller brain than everybody else because the brain is shrinking. The brain is shrinking. People that have liver problems, their brain is shrinking. Your brain is made out of fat. Your liver's job is to, amongst other things, maintain the brain, because the liver processes all the fat in the body. The liver processes the cholesterol. Your brain houses the most cholesterol in your body. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as we let the liver go and the pancreas go, we let the sugar accumulate, and we throw off the cholesterol and fat cycles. The brain atrophies. Then we don't read. We don't count. Like, counting and reading is fundamental to maintaining your, so this is where we at. You know what I'm saying? And it's because people's brains are atrophying. It's because people don't study that somebody can build a massive following saying there's melanin in the air and white people don't have neuromelanin and things like that. Because largely, you know, we're illiterate. You know, unfortunately, these are the real numbers. In America, the average reading level is a 5th grade reading level.
That's true. Yeah.
In the Black community, it's 2 grades lower. Average reading level is 3rd grade. So if your average reading level is 3rd grade, there's no way that you understand concepts like neuromelanin. People may have trouble spelling neuromelanin. They don't know what that is. There's not 3rd grade material on neuromelanin. So that means this stuff is outside the scope of people's understanding. So then somebody could pop up and say, oh yeah, melanin is concentrated sunlight. And it sounds like it makes sense. It sounds like it works. Like, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it must be. Like, no, it's not. And you sound like an idiot. And this is how it took me so long. I'm still like on a campaign to stop people from calling melanin like, oh yeah, melanin does human photosynthesis, because that's what he's one of those people, and his followers are people that promote that type of foolishness. That's where he goes, oh yeah, there's melanin in the trees. There's chlorophyll in the trees. Like this is what I'm saying. Like, and it's crazy because we're people that are dying from too much blood sugar. So when you say that we do photosynthesis, people are not realizing chlorophyll takes sunlight, hydrates carbon, and that's the creation of sugar. So when you have people that are dying from too much sugar, by you saying melanin does human photosynthesis, that's almost like you saying God is killing us on purpose. Like it's insane. Melanin is not a photosynthetic pigment. Melanin is photovoltaic. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is with that, I'm a one of one with that. I discovered that. That was the principle that allowed me to heal Amber's back, was realizing that melanin was photovoltaic. Melanin is the same as it's the blueprint for solar panels. And, you know, you put light in it one way, electricity comes out the other. If you run electricity backwards into it, light comes out the other. That's how a person that check, like if you have solar panels and they want to check and see if your solar panels are working, they just run them in reverse. So they'll run an electric current into the solar panel and see if light comes out the other side. If light comes out the other side, solar panel is working, because it works 2 ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, so listen, we've got to take this stuff serious, because we are dying for lack of knowledge. Like it is the stuff that we find entertaining and funny that we playing with. That's the stuff that's killing us. That's literally why we're leading the world in diabetes and heart disease and brain disease and dementia and all that. Like we're literally losing our minds, like figuratively and literally, we're losing our minds.
Botana oil, the elixir.
No, sir.
Fountain of youth.
There's no way we can do that. We can't mix that with this.
What you mean?
No, sir. We have to come back next week and talk about it.
Why?
Because we can't. We got to put that in like a science. You got to put that in a respectable place. We can't have the people that come here to discuss chakras and G-spot anuses and angel checks to we can't put that over.
So then I got to change the title of the video.
Yeah, you need to just make this like Dr. Inky corrects young Pharaoh or something. Like we done spent how long discussing this foolishness? We've been over an hour on this. This is the subject. Do white people have neuromelanin? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we need to segue it more into that to stick with the program.
Well, while we segue into do white people have neuromelanin, I just like to say, go ahead and PayPal me, Cash App, $ Hotep Jesus for the moon rocks. They're going for $325 a gram. Cash App me, $325 a gram. Okay, sending out those moon rocks. These are magical moon rocks. Okay, these moon rocks will allow you to communicate with your ancestors.
See, you playing, you trolling, but listen, this is why, again, before I was Dr. Inky, because I didn't call myself doctor until I got certified as got my naturopathic certification. It was just Minister Inky, and it was minister because I really got ordained. But this is why, I fell out with a lot of people, and
Hold on,
I just
I'll
had
be
to
right
do
back.
my
I gotta
own
go
thing.
get the moon rocks. Hold on a second.
See, listen. A seer Duke of Tears was doing this back in the days. A seer Duke of Tears was doing this back in the day, selling magical bricks to people. And people, because I'm the science guy, people think I hunt down this stuff to expose it and talk about other people. I don't. What happens is that as the science guy, that's like what people put, the title people put on me, like, oh, Inky's the science guy. So people will be curious to ask me my opinion of stuff, like this whole young Pharaoh thing. Hotep Jesus sent me this clip, was like, yo, we got to discuss this on the live. I didn't hunt this down. You know what I'm saying? So back in the days when Seer Duke of Tears was on Facebook and he was selling magical bricks to people, they hit me up and was like, yo, Ink, what you think about this? Because I'm also Haitian, you know what I'm saying? So I understand the voodoo and but that's not something I play with or take lightly either. You know what I'm saying? So like, yo, what you think about the magic bricks? And I'm like, bro, those is just, it's a lot of abandoned buildings in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Like, like this, yeah.
They go to moon rocks right here. Let me put it on the screen, get a little bit closer. You guys see it right there. These are the magic moon rocks. Okay, this is extraterrestrial elements.
Should they put those on top of the angel checks for the angel checks to work? Or?
I hold the angel check in the other hand because the body's charged. So when I have it over here, this is the positive charge. My left hand be the negative charge, and we use that together to charge the angel checks. Okay, and this is it. You can see the crystals in there. I can hear my grandmother speaking to me right now, actually, because you can communicate with ancestors with the moon rocks. It's $325 for this one right here. I'll let this one go today for $300. $299. I'll let this one go right now. Cash App $ Hotep Jesus. I only got a few of these, so y'all better hurry up before they sell out.
Mm-hmm. Delbert Blair almost kicked me out of a lecture for this very same thing.
Why?
Because we was in Atlanta, and he had these diodes, I think it was called. He had some diodes.
Oh yeah, I remember the diode hustle.
Yeah, and he had broke it down. Like, I had never seen it before. It's me and Red Pill up in there. And he breaking it down and he's saying things that's getting me excited, like, pause, like, but he like, yeah, and this is the science behind the diode, is the diodes are able, because of the stone and the ceramic material, they're able to, absorb radiation, and you can put your food in the microwave now and not have to worry about it, because you can put the diode under your plate, and you can stick the diode on the back of your cell phone, and blah, 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 if you have children, and woo, woo. I'm in. Listen, I'm excited. He like, yeah, so look, we're gonna sell these, whoop, whoop, whoop. And I'm like, yo, how many of them you got? Because I'm saying to myself, I'm getting ready to get first dibs. Like, I'm going, like, yeah, I gotta get all that right there. I got like 5 babies at home. I need to put this on everybody's TV and move. Like, I'm in. And he like, don't worry about it. We're gonna do this after the show, whatever, and whoop. And so he continues to break down the whole diodes, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, well, the way we got the diodes are alien material from another, like, it was like
alien material from another planet?
Bro, it was like the angel checks moment again. Like, so he goes, these are alien material from another planet. And there was 2 aliens that was living inside a cave inside of like Las Vegas desert. And they was in there, they had landed their ship, and they were waiting for literally hundreds of years, mad because nobody was coming into the cave. And like the person that come into the cave is like the blessed one. So they were waiting for this blessed one to come into the cave and receive the diodes. And, you know, so he tells this whole story about how the aliens were so happy when the guy went into the cave and got the diodes because they get to go back home and, you know, never have to see Earth again, like put that in their rear view mirror and get on up out of here. And so innocently, I mistakenly, accidentally, totally debunked Delbert Blair by mistake. Like it wasn't me trolling or trying to be funny. It's just the way my mind worked. You know what I'm saying? So after he broke down the whole story, you know, I put my hand up. He like, Inky, what you got for me? And I'm like, so when you run out, how do y'all re-up? And it was like his whole countenance and his face just changed. And like the faster minds in the room, they immediately caught on and snapped out of it. Like, wait a minute, is this the Kung Fu? Like, did he just? And he just flagged me off. Like he came back to real quick. Hey, you don't ask no more questions. You wait to the side. Matter of fact, we're ending Q&A. We're wrapping this up. So anybody who wants to get their diodes, come on over here to the side of the room. Inky Rep, let me talk to y'all in the back. Got scolded by one of the, you know, I got
fuck this hustle up.
Man, hey, listen, I saved myself a few dollars because I was getting ready to spend rent money on them diodes. I was like, yo, I was in. I saved myself some trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know.
They still hustle those. I went to like this vegan pop-up back in the day.
Bro, because they have, you know, this is this crazy line of foolishness that's still circulating. The people buying the diodes, the people selling the diodes believe in chakras and anal male G-spots and, you know, like melanin in the air and melanin's in the water. And this is a whole group of people with a whole like codex of foolishness that they hold dear. And so it's become like a way to escape reality, almost like a drug in and of itself, where they can like escape reality for a while and just talk foolishness. You know what I'm saying? My only problem is the time that they devote to the foolishness, they could be studying actual science. We could get these diabetes and heart, you know, like these heart attacks and cardiac arrest. We could get these numbers down. We could get these dementia numbers down. Like there is actual real melanin. Like and because we are the progenitors of eumelanin, like we're the representatives of eumelanin, not pheomelanin. We're the eumelanin people. It is up to us. No one's going to put the money in for the R&D, the research and development, because it doesn't affect everyone else, right? We have the eumelanin. It's up to us to figure this out. Now, to a certain extent, everybody's got to understand melanin, because if you're alive, if you're a human, your body completely 100% is operated by the melanin system. The melanin system controls the entire human body.
So white people, in fact, do have neuromelanin.
White people have neuromelanin, they have dopamine, they have norepinephrine, right? All of these things are part of the melanin system. They have POMC, they have endorphins, they have adrenaline, they have melanin concentrating hormone, melanin stimulating hormone, melanocortin receptors, like their whole, you know, they have absolutely. But they don't have eumelanin in their skin. They have pheomelanin in their skin. You know what I'm saying?
What about a light-skinned broad?
Pheomelanin.
Really?
Yeah, pheomelanin. So when you see light-skinned folks with freckles, that's pheomelanin.
So they really like got some, like that white part is coming out.
Well, it's not a white part. It's not a white part. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not
white people. That's not white people stuff.
It kind of, but it's not like a white part. Like, you know, like because we started this off with Pharaoh, we got to be extra, you know, we got to be extra careful with our verbiage.
I'm trying to trip you up.
Yeah. Because we say white and it gets crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and normally, euphemistically, I'm with you, white folks, black folks. But in the context of this young Pharaoh conversation, like we just got to be careful with the, you know, because it gets crazy.
So how would you describe it?
Well, in my conversations, I try to use like in a regular conversation, I do the white folks, black folk thing like everybody else, because you got to communicate to people. So if you speak over people, then they, you know, but typically when I'm trying to make a point, I say equatorial versus polar. So I'll say equatorial haplotypes and polar haplotypes.
Light-skinned people is polar haplotypes?
It depends because light skin is perspective.
What?
You know what I'm
What
saying?
do
Like
mean?
we have this thing inside my house, you know, where, you know, I tell Chase that he's light skinned, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, he is standing next to me, you know what I'm saying? But like if he was to stand next to Drake or Chris Brown, he would absolutely be dark skinned, you know what I'm saying? But it
because
depends on
when I went to Africa, they told me I was light skinned.
Facts. Yeah, it's who you're standing next to. You know what I'm saying? When you're standing next to people who look like your sweater, you are absolutely sun deprived. They're like, where you were you from Europe? You from America? You from England? Like where you the sun don't shine 12 months out the year where you at. We can tell that your UV light is limited. Yeah, you're not getting the full 12 months out of the year in ultraviolet light. You know what I'm saying? We can tell. You know what I'm saying? So it's perspective. It's who you standing next to. Because even Chris Brown is dark skinned when he's standing next to Drake.
Right.
Yeah. So it's all perspective. Like back in the days, I used to call like the NBA, you know what I'm saying? There's a time period where the NBA was like, you know what I'm saying? You had the light skinned guys, you know, you had Clay and Steph. You had the brown skinned guys, which was, you know, Kevin Durant with Westbrook. And then you had the dark skinned guys, which was
Draymond,
Kyrie, and LeBron on Cleveland. So you had Cleveland versus OKC versus the Golden State Warriors, the light skinned guys versus the brown skinned guys versus the dark skinned guys. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah, it was a time period where, you know, we can make some sense out of that.
So there's no nerves inside the neuromelanin. The neuromelanin does not have nerves in it? Because you said there was some context there.
No. I was saying no. Okay, let me clarify that. So neuromelanin is, so first of all, a nerve and a neuron is the same thing. The only real difference between a nerve and a neuron is size, right? Neurons are really, really tiny and nerves are like really big. You know what I'm saying? Like you got nerves that run from your spine to your foot.
Right.
So that's like a 3-foot neuron. Right. But technically it's the same. You know what I'm saying? A neuron and a nerve.
When you say it's technically the same, why do you say that?
Same type of cell. It's just really the size difference.
Is it one whole cell or a compilation of cells?
Yeah. No.
So one long nerve is one whole cell.
Yeah. When you got a compilation, they call that like a plexus, you know what I'm saying? Like a group. So you do have those as well. You have nerves that operate together, but you have some really big ones. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look it up. What's the biggest nerve you have in your body? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the big thing.
And it's a neuron.
Yeah, nerves and neurons.
Because you got protons, electrons, you got neutrons, but now you talk about neurons.
No, sir. Ho. No, sir. See, that's why, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, sir. That's, yeah, you talk about subatomic particles where there might not even be particles. It's wave. Yeah, that's another universe right there. This not that. So you got nerves, which are neurons. Neurons are nerves. For all extents and purposes, you know, same type of cell, just the main difference is size. Neuromelanin is located inside the nerves and the neurons. So it's not that neuromelanin has, like, because when you think of having nerves, you think like a muscle cell. Muscle cell has nerves that run to it from the spine. No, neuromelanin is something that's inside of nerves and neurons. Like that's.
Do all nerves have neuromelanin?
No. So specifically, neuromelanin is a byproduct of neuromelanin is primarily made from dopamine, but then you also have norepinephrine is able to make neuromelanin too. So that's another thing that I'm kind of ranting about in my new book coming out, is that, you know, when we talk about melanin in the skin, you get pheomelanin, eumelanin, so we can get some distinctions. Now, over the years, they've got even more specificity because there's two different types of eumelanin, two different types of pheomelanin, depending on whether the pheomelanin is formed from like cysteine or glutathione. You have two different types of, you know, pheomelanin, or, you know, just so there's some specificity there. When you get to neuromelanin is like such a you know, like a overlooked, like it's just not discussed, and it's crazy. But we need specificity there, because you have the locus ceruleus, and that's like a nuclei where the melanin, the neuromelanin, is primarily norepinephrine based, right? So it's completely different than the neuromelanin that would be like in the substantia nigra. And most places that we're familiar, like the conversation of neuromelanin usually centers around dopamine based, because dopamine is kind of like it is neuromelanin, like norepinephrine. So when you have a bunch of dopamine and you get a little oxidization, you know, that's how neuromelanin is formed. Same thing with norepinephrine.
So do all neurons have
No,
neuromelanin?
dopaminergic, you know, dopamine-based neurons and, you know, norepinephrine-based neurons primarily have neuromelanin, but not all. No, you got a bunch of different types of neurons. And then to make the game even crazier, that's based on classical neurology, right? 3 years ago, they just found like a couple of thousand new types of neurons. So the game is crazy anyway. But yeah, based on, you know, classical neurology, you don't have you have different types of neurons, and so neurons are usually labeled by, you know, the chemicals that they produce, or the neurotransmitters or neurosteroids that they produce. So you have, you know, dopamine. When you hear dopamine, that's like a code word so that they can discuss neuromelanin without letting anybody know that they're discussing neuromelanin. You know, because it gets spooky when you think about
So what's
the
that?
time period. Well, you got to think about the time period that these concepts were developed in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's 1800s.
Right.
So think about in the 1800s for white scientists, right? To discover that your entire brain runs off of this black stuff. Like everything, your sleep-wake cycle, your hunger, your sex, your ambition, your drive, like everything in your brain functions based on dopamine, and dopamine is the primary source of neuromelanin. You know,
so it's your dopamine's producing black stuff.
Dopamine is the black stuff.
Oh, it is the black stuff.
Yeah. So what happens is when you get a bunch of dopamine, that whole bunch of dopamine congeals basically into what we know of as neuromelanin. You know, you need a little bit of oxidation, but you know, that's just a direction of electricity.
So the neuromelanin is coming from the dopamine, some of it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And vice versa. Right. And so the dopamine then becomes from the neuromelanin. But so there's a lot of things that we have to discuss in terms of neuromelanin, but you would be brain dead. Like your brain would not function without neuromelanin. It's not possible for you to have a brain and be conscious without neuromelanin, period. And you can't process. Your brain doesn't work without neuromelanin. Like you can't, you know, when you're a baby, you have almost no neuromelanin. The moment you start to process information and have memories, you have neuromelanin formation. So literally, it's a part of the memory. You know, the ability to store information is neuromelanin based.
So, coming back to this 1826 dopamine, they scared to call it black stuff. So they make up the term dopamine.
You say 1826. Now, well, here's the thing. So the book is named The Dope Game.
Okay.
Can you tell that I came from the dope game? The book is named The Dope Game. And so it's about this whole.
This is the one you wrote.
Yes, it's coming out in a couple of days.
Oh, okay. The Dope Game. Okay. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Dope Game, basically like volume 2, because I wrote one before. I think it's out of print now, but yeah, so it's it's about dopamine. It's about your neurochemistry. It's about neuromelanin. It's about norepinephrine. It's about bioelectricity. Because at the end of the day, that's what really is driving all of the cytokines and hormones and everything like that in the body. It's either electricity or photons, and the electricity eventually makes photons, and the photons get broken backwards down into magnetism and electricity. So that's why electricity and photons drive, biochemistry and neurochemistry. So you can do that one or two ways. When you receive light to the body, that light, the neurochemistry comes on, and that light will stimulate melanin stimulating hormone to be produced. And so you get a whole cascade of neurochemistry and cipher down to your biochemistry, and that comes from melanin stimulating hormone. When you eat and things like that, right, then you stimulate, or when you don't eat, right, when you exercise, we'll do it that way. When you exercise, your body stimulates a bunch of electricity, and that produces melanin concentrating hormone. And so that runs the other side of all of your body's chemistry and neurochemistry. So everything in your body is basically, attached in some shape or form or fashion to the pigment system, whether it's melanin stimulating hormone and POMC, that side of the family, or it's melanin concentrating hormone and autophagy and ketosis and all those other things.
Electricity.
Even those things, like those are popular concepts on the internet, but it hits me like pet peeve because there's no such thing as autophagy or ketosis or ketones or keto anything without melanin concentrating hormone. Melanin concentrating hormone is the hormone that stimulates, quote unquote, all of the benefits of going into ketosis. It's what creates autophagy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so those are incomplete conversations, and that's a part of the blind spots that academia has. You know what I'm saying? You got people making whole platforms and careers off of being health coaches, teaching autophagy, and they don't even know what melanin concentrating hormone is. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's just like an uphill battle, because not knowing these things, you can teach autophagy without it. But the problem is there are other things, you know what I'm saying, like heart disease and brain disease, and people are dying for the, lack of this knowledge. And the key is, it's not Hosea 4:6, but it's the part that comes after where, you rejected the knowledge. It's not that you didn't have opportunity, but you rejected the knowledge. And a lot of times we reject the knowledge because, we've already heard so much of the foolishness that as soon as we start to hear some real stuff, we either reject it because we associate it with the melanin in the water and the G-spot in the anus talk, or we reject it because it sounds made up in comparison to the melanin in the water and the condensed sunlight stuff. So you're like, oh no, I already know about all that melanin stuff. No, you don't. You know all of that foolishness that's not grounded in reality. I know all that melanin stuff. Like, no, you don't. You have no idea about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't even know that norepinephrine is related to melanin or neuromelanin or part of it. Like, people think they know, but they don't know.
Mm. So I was watching this TikTok video.
Oh boy.
And they said this man had gone several months without eating, and the only thing he ate was sunlight.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop you right there. We're gonna stop you right there. That was started by a Black guy, and I actually met him one time back in the days before he got popular on the internet. Before the internet was popping, I met the guy, and he was talking about being a breatharian, and but the crazy part is he edited his story over time, because his breatharian story starts with the special chemicals that are preservatives inside McDonald's food.
What?
And that was, yeah. So you build up the preservatives from the McDonald's food and the Pepsi, and then you're able to take, weeks. So so his early program was, and this, I forgot his name, Wiley something or other, but you eat only McDonald's 3 times a day, and then you take a week off or 2 weeks off, and you don't eat anything. You just get the sunlight and you breathe in the rich air. And again, people who don't know how the human body works, they believe this because the conscious community has become a bunch of dope fiends and drug addicts.
Sleepy, if you can find that video, let me know, yo. Somebody, I know y'all see the video.
So listen, these people are drug addicts now. They done brung in the mushrooms and all this other stuff, and they don't even realize, they just want to say whatever to justify getting high off of mushrooms and ayahuasca. They're not in spiritual pursuits with these things. They're just using them as drugs.
Right.
So people are mixing things up. They hear breatharian talk, and then they mix the breatharian stuff and go, oh yeah, because the chi and the prana, and this is what they was talking about with the chi and the prana. It's like, no. We're not going to denigrate the ancestors by mixing up what they was doing with this modern gobbledygook. Okay, so there's no such a thing as living off of sunlight, right? Because here's where it falls on its face. How do we absorb the sun? We absorb the sun through our pigments. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole conversation.
Right.
Well, the problem with pigments is we have to constantly replenish our pigments with aromatic amino acids.
Okay.
And we don't produce those. Plants do. So we have to constantly eat plants, if for nothing else, the aromatic amino acids that they now, because animals, like small animals, eat the plants, and then medium animals eat those. And then, you can get aromatic amino acids from other creatures if you eat meat. So it's not a vegan version, but the animals that you're getting tyrosine or tryptophan from, they don't have a Shikimate pathway where they actually create these aromatic amino acids. The source of aromatic amino acids on this planet is plants. So we have to either consume the plants or consume something that consumes the plants, or the pigment will not be able to translate sunlight for us, period. Yeah.
I'm trying to find a video. He said he subsisted, and now you're telling me he didn't, but we
live in the world of clicks, bro. That's, this is views and likes. It's people saying obnoxious, outrageous things because
he was surviving off of his son, Inky. He said he did it for months. They had people watching him.
No, sir. No, he wasn't. No, you can fast for a really long time, but just because you're fasting, it doesn't mean, just because you didn't die doesn't mean like people are confused on what, what's actually happening in their body. This is why I don't even promote fast, past 48 hours, 72 hours, because people don't understand you have daily nutrients that your body needs. And so you have certain things that your body can store. Right. So you can go a few days, like fat soluble vitamins, for example. Right. Fat soluble vitamins your body can store. Sugar, your body can store. Fat, your body can store. Your body can store up some stuff that you can use. Right. But water soluble vitamins, you can't. Your body doesn't store water soluble vitamins. So you on the clock. The moment that you don't have water-soluble vitamins, you're on the clock. There are vitamins literally that can cause dementia by himself. Like there's literally vitamin deficiencies that can cause dementia all by themselves, period. You know what I'm saying? Like this is why I was like, yo, somebody did note to Kanye, you know what I'm saying? That nitrous, yeah, that causes dementia in a matter of weeks. Like that will destroy your brain very quickly. You know what I'm saying?
I found the video. Let me go ahead and send this to you. You pull this up on your phone. I'm gonna play this for the people because he's debunking you right now. Inky.
No, he's not. He's saying something opposition. He's saying something different than I'm saying, but he's not debunking.
It says right here, this is Elitom El-Amin, mastered the science leading to living on energy and lives food and water free with over 19 years experience.
Let me tell you how long I've been studying this stuff. I've been studying this stuff long enough to know when I hear something, I know where they got it from. So he's not even the plug. He's positioning himself like he's the plug, like I've been doing this for 19 years. If you look up the breatharian, his face doesn't pop up. It's going to be the guy Wiley that I'm talking about. So he got his whole drip from Wiley. Like this ain't that. Like it's foolishness though. It's not.
Pull up your phone. Play this. Check your Twitter DMs. Let's play this for the people.
You ain't send it to me.
I did. Check your DMs. Okay, check your Twitter DMs. We're gonna play this video and show people.
That might be slightly advanced for me. Okay, hold up. I go to my ex. Okay, sent you Daryl's post.
Yeah, you see that? 30-second video.
It says KeMedicine. Oh, here we go. Oh my God.
You ready? All right.
Yeah. My bad.
Yeah, mute your mic. Let's play this for 3, 2, 1.
How did you choose to follow this lifestyle?
Well, once you see the benefits on what's taking place and that you can do it, because there's something in you that will, as I was increasing my meditation and my energy channel started opening. And when I ran into this knowledge, I didn't know it at first. I realized I was already there and I had the energy to do it. So my next thing was curiosity. And once I said that my body can do it, the main thing was just fighting the habits of the mind. But once you get on this path, you do not want to go back to eating once you really get on it.
He don't need to eat, Inky. Huh? Sunlight.
Yeah, we gotta stop this madness, bro. We gotta stop this madness, bro. Like he's just fasting. Like it's just this goes back to the digital, like people have to, because there's only certain things that we're doing, right? So unless you're dedicating yourself to a space where you're actually getting like new findings, new information, because you're doing new explorative research, all these other people are doing is repackaging old stuff. And so all he's doing is talking about fasting. He's fasting, bro. That's all he's doing. He's fasting for extended periods of time. And when you fast, fasting has some benefits, but it also has some drawbacks. Like this is, again, understanding neurochemistry. Melanin concentrating hormone initiates autophagy. It only takes 12 to 13 hours for that to kick in. So you don't have to starve yourself for a week, 2 weeks, or a month to get autophagy benefits. Like that's crazy.
What is autophagy?
Autophagy is basically where your body starts to break down and recycle, proteins and, just repair enzymes and just get rid of junk, that builds up in your body. You know what I'm saying? And for some people, depending on if they're dealing with some health conditions or not, like, going back to dementia, like autophagy is really, really important, because you build up a lot of junk proteins in the brain that contribute for one reason or another. And so autophagy is important for a lot of different things. If people want to, lose weight, speed up their metabolism, burn through some fat and some sugar and stuff like this. There's a bunch of different reasons. But again, homeboy's not living off the sun. Because see, when you say you're living off the sun, what you're implying is that human chlorophyll thing, right? It's like you're implying that somehow the sun is supplying you with the amino acids you need every day, the fat you need every day, the carbohydrates you need every day, all of the fat soluble vitamins, the trace minerals, the water soluble. It's like all of the things you need every day. When you say you can live off the sunlight without saying it, right? Because you don't want to be held to account. Like if I was to sit across from him and ask him, right, what exactly is the sun providing for you? You know what I'm saying? Like break that down. Like what, first of all, before we even get to that, what are the daily nutrients that your body needs to thrive? Not to survive, to thrive. Because looking emaciated and weak and like skin and bones, that might not be everybody's, like everybody's not, doesn't want to do that, right? So that's another thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we all may have different goals out here. Like some of us are trying to thrive, not survive, right? So what are the things that your body needs every day to thrive? Like what is it your body needs to be good, right? And then how do you get those things when you don't eat? Like how do you get those things when you don't? Because see, you had Yaki running around out here telling people that humans were not designed to drink water. And so, you know, drinking water is bad for your health and all kinds of foolishness. Like there's a lot of foolishness that comes across my desk. And when I correct the information, people feel like I'm attacking the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, he's attacking Pharaoh. He's attacking Yaki. He's attacking. I don't seek these people material out. I have children that I have to raise and books I got to write. We're only discussing Pharaoh because HJ sent me the clip like, yo, Ink, what you think about this? We got to talk about this on the live. So now we have this whole long explorative where I'm like, no, we can't even discuss what I can't, like, we're not even mixing in. Like, no. We're going to save actual science. Like this right here is an exploration into foolishness. So for the people who may not be that sharp, I don't even want to mix in yeah, we just going to stick right, like this is, we going to say here.
Let me read this
entertainment. Tonight's edutainment.
Let me read this. Ellie Tom El-Amin, born 1969 in the USA in the city of Pittsburgh, was raised in Ohio from African-American origins. He teaches living on prana since 15 years, sharing deep knowledge.
Whoa, stop right there for a second. Didn't I tell you that they was going to mix in the prana and the chi? And listen, I'm telling you, I'm a veteran with this thing for a reason. But I grew up in it. So, and the thing is, I have personally wasted time and money on a lot of these gimmicks and foolishness. So when I'm saying these things, I'm not like an outsider wagging my finger. I spent time and money wasting on these concepts and realized, like, wait a minute, I could have been spending time and money on the real stuff because we're we're chasing illusion. But go ahead.
So it says, sharing deep knowledge and experience. Also, author of the book, It's Okay to Be Healthy, and coming soon, Human Photosynthesis 101.
I'm done. What I tell you? What? Now look at what I told you before we even. Listen, I could listen. They're all reading from the same playbook of foolishness. I told you. And the crazy thing is, that whole concept doesn't even come from a Black guy. That is Arturo Salas Herrera's information. That is a very, very fair-skinned white guy who's a Spanish-speaking native that teaches his melanin science in all Spanish. And they think he's a melanin. I'm like, bro, I don't care what college you graduated from. I've been living inside the petri dish of melanin all my whole entire life. I've been living in it. So I have a melanin experience that you can't have if you're not a melanin dominant person, because we're the ones that are dying from the heart disease and the diabetes and the high blood pressure. It's almost like a Black person starter kit. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, like that, high cholesterol, like that's a part of the starter kit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, we got a gun to our head, even if you don't live in in a dangerous gang, like we not gangs. Listen, gangs have nothing on diabetes. Gangs have nothing on fried chicken. Fried chicken has literally killed more ninjas out here. Like fried chicken. Like there is no gang that has been more brutal and violent to Black people in America than fried chicken. Period. Body count speak for itself. There's not a gang. If you put all the gangs together, all of the gangs, Mexican gangs, white gangs, we could throw some racial, groups, some militias and KKK. You put them all together. They don't kill enough people in a year to even come close to type 2 diabetes.
Fried chicken is causing diabetes?
Oh my goodness. Fried chicken is causing all kinds of, woo! Fried chicken is deadly. Stop trolling.
My Popeyes?
That might not even be actual chicken. You know what I'm saying? Like them things, they, a lot of those places lost the ability to call what they're selling chicken a long time ago. Like those things are like chicken hybrids. Like
But it got bones.
There's a lot of things with bones.
They got thighs, they got wings, they got breasts.
Careful. There's a lot of things that may qualify. Like it just, it gets crazy.
So what happens in the body when I start chewing on a piece of fried chicken?
But listen, here's the thing. Hold on. Let me say this though.
Okay.
Let me say this. Because I don't want to put that guy that we was just listening to in the same boat with Pharaoh. Pharaoh is dangerous, dumb, illiterate, all bad adjectives I can associate with Pharaoh only.
Mm-hmm.
That guy that we watching right there, even though he's like making up a bunch of stuff and most of what he's saying is incorrect, the core of what he's teaching has benefits to it.
Okay.
Because of the lifestyles that we lead, almost everybody could use some fasting. Right? So this is what further exacerbates the problem of people making up gobbledygook. When a person like this guy, who's 100% incorrect on everything he's teaching, human photos, all of this is foolishness, right? If you try fasting, which is his underlying theme that he's dressing up with all this other foolishness, you're going to get some health benefits, at least short term, right? You're going to get some health benefits. So now when you get the health benefits will confuse people because the health benefits of the fasting will validate all of the stuff that they don't understand. So they'll try the fasting and go, oh, nah, I lost 10 pounds and I feel great. And I came off of 2 medications because I was using this plan of, woo. And it's like, no, hold on. The fasting was great. You came off some medications because losing weight allowed you to get better control of your blood sugar or your blood pressure, or it's not because humans have chlorophyll. Like it's not because of that. Like it's, so you didn't have to do that. You just put yourself in a caloric deficit. You put yourself in a caloric deficit, you initiate autophagy, right? You start getting a better fat profile. We don't even discuss it, but you start cleaning your blood of triglycerides, and your liver starts to function a little bit more efficiently and some other stuff. So that's where it becomes more dangerous, and then people will get benefits from a program, even if the program is like fundamentally foolishness, and then the world at large, they completely disrespect our ancestors. And this is where another reason why I take it, a certain way, because now Kemetic science, Native American science, like the people who really, this is what they live and die by. Well, they get totally disrespected because you got people running out here trying to do some clickbait foolishness. Like homeboy talking about this is prana and this and that. Like, bro, prana, you got to take that back to the Indian culture. That's Indian culture, right? We confuse like language for actual things. Like, prana is Indian culture. They were talking about the energy in oxygen, period. You know what I'm saying? But that's an Indian term that goes along with that culture. You know what I'm saying? But when you start using that term, I know usually you're going to come with chakra, kundalini, anal, male anal penetration talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause that goes together. Like that's all in that space right there. You know what I'm saying? And listen, if you're a guy and you like to get hit from the back, you know what I'm saying? Whether you Shannon Sharpen in it, or you Diddy in it, or you just full blown got a boyfriend or whatever. Listen, I'm not against you, but I do have a problem if you're dressing up the fact that you like to get fingered or pegged or just rammed in the back by saying this is ancestral spiritual information. Like it's not. You just a fruity. Like it's not. Like that's just what that is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So let's talk about this fasting thing, because I understand that there's a certain period called Ramadan where Muslims fast, and I think this is a little bit
no. Muslims don't fast during Ramadan.
Wait, what?
Muslims fool themselves. See, listen.
Uh-oh.
The more questions, the more you move around. See, when we have these, this is my life here, HJ. This is why I make more enemies than friends. I can't make friends. You see, this is my life. God put this on me to tell the truth. And so I'm an earth disturber. Like when you like this, it's hard for me to make friends out here. And you're making it really difficult, HJ, because you're bringing me over here to Hotepistan, and I want to talk about nice things. You know what I'm saying? I want to say, like, the batana oil is good, and you can get benefits, and we're going to show you, we're going to get you to do some push-ups. And like, I just want to be friends with people. Now you're putting me, like you're forcing me to do my job. Like, okay, hold up, Inky, you're the teacher, you're the authority. Now I need you to validate or invalidate this information. So now you taking me, it's 1,000 Muslims, and black folks feel like Muslims is black folks' culture. Like, so you start insulting Muslims. That's like you disrespecting macaroni and cheese and fried chicken all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Ramadan, nobody's fasting during Ramadan. Okay, nobody's fasting during Ramadan. Ramadan makes people sicker than the rest of the year. You know what I'm saying? And people be mad with me for saying that, but I know people that do Ramadan since I was a boy. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember when my homeboy Ishak and his brothers, and I know a bunch. Like nobody's doing Ramadan. Now I don't know what they're doing in Arabia. I don't know what they're doing in Mecca. I don't know what the Arabs are doing. But I know the American Muslims, they're not doing Ramadan. All they're doing is packing in the full day's worth of calories at the nighttime. So that's all they do. All they're doing is, none of them are actually fasting. When the sun goes down to the time the sun goes up, they're eating twice as much food. Period. So they're getting the same amount of calories, and some of them are getting even more calories because it's a buffet. It's a binge fest. Like they literally, it's religious, pun intended, for them to do this. They even set their alarm clocks to wake up earlier in the morning, an hour or two before the sun comes up, so they can eat like it's Thanksgiving every morning, like to their stuffed. So they're up at 4:00 in the morning eating like crazy. Like they're literally eating a full day's worth of food in a 2-hour window so that they can go out throughout the whole day and like front, like, oh yeah, it's Ramadan, I'm fasting, I'm spiritually cleansing. Like, no, you're not. You've had 1,500 to 2,500 calories in 2 hours. Your body is about to explode. Your colon is taking a beating. Your microbiome is stripped. You're looking crazy out here right now. And you can't wait to get home for the sun to go down. They at home counting down like the New Year's Eve ball is dropping. They 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Soon as the sun dropped, they I'm like, oh, this, listen. Allah did not intend that. This ain't that, y'all. This is not, no, this ain't it. This is not what Allah intended, okay? I promise you. Allah was trying to get y'all some healing. He was trying to carve out a window so that the blood pressures and the cholesterol levels and the blood sugars and the, you know, he was trying to get you to the tau proteins and the autophagy in the brain. You know, like Allah was trying to take care of y'all. Y'all done took what Allah created, right? Because that's how it go. We got to say they took what Allah created, right? And y'all done perverted it. Y'all done turned it into like a ongoing Thanksgiving moon festival where, you know, y'all are doing some moon Thanksgiving, you know, a never-ending feast every night when the moon comes out. Like that's all they're doing. It's not a fast. They're just like hiding from the sun and having moon festivals. So they're up all night and they're eating like nobody's business overnight. No, we're not gonna see. This is the thing. It's where Candace Owens. Listen, I never liked Candace Owens, but Candace Owens had a take. And she was like, no, it's like, you know, you trans people are like wearing costumes and it's like, you want us to believe that, you know, like you want us to play along and like you want to force us to believe. This is what the people during Ramadan are doing. I'm not saying Candace Owens, yay or nay. I don't know who watching. Listen, don't get me. I'm just saying the people that are doing Ramadan, they are masquerading as people that are doing a fast and they want you to play along and believe that that's what they're doing. They're not. They're destroying their body. They're turning their circadian rhythm upside down, their hormone cascades upside down, their digestion's going upside down. They are doing way more damage. They might as well just stick to whatever they've been doing throughout the rest of the year.
So they're not doing it right. That's what you're saying.
They're not doing it at all. They're not fasting. Fasting implies that you go into some form of a caloric deficit. That means that if you eat 3,000 calories a day, you are now somewhere between 0 and 29.99. Like it has to be less than whatever you're eating every day. These people are packing it on. I'm talking about like they're eating like there's no tomorrow between the time the sun drops and before the sun comes back up. They just like they treating it like they got a contract with Allah and they like finding loopholes in the fine print. Like, wait a minute, hold up. Ramadan says, now hold up, now correct me if I'm wrong. They said we can't eat when the sun is up. So yeah, we can. It's buffet from sundown to So it's not. They're not fasting.
So that what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to have a calorie deficit when the sun goes down and just eat a little meal.
Correct. They're supposed to just like so almost like going from like say for instance if you're having 3 meals a day, you know you have that one dinner time. Like you're supposed to just cut it down to that one dinner time. Like you know, just you're not supposed to modify what you're doing to make, you know, to basically make what, you know, what's supposed to be holy, you know, like obscene. Like you turn it into something that's obscene. Like you perverted the fasting period. Like it doesn't produce health anymore. It doesn't produce clarity of mind. It's just.
How long do you suggest we fast to get this autophagy thing going?
Well, we have a 13-7 rule. So that's what we do. You know, you try to eat all your food within a 7-hour window. You know, initially I was doing the 8-8-8. 8 hours of eating, 8 hours of digesting, 8 hours of elimination. So basically you had an 8-hour window to eat, 16 hours where you're technically fasting. And, you know, I've refined that to a 7-13 rule. And then the extra hours is just like the ish happens kind of hours, you know, the life be lifing. You got an extra 4 hours to play with, you know what I'm saying? Because 13 hours is all you need to get yourself into, you know, some degree of ketosis and autophagy.
In a row.
Yes. 13 hours in a row of not eating. Yeah. It can't be like, It can't be like, oh, well, technically it was 2-3 hours between breakfast and lunch. And then 5 hours. No. It got to be a straight window of.
So what about me, right? I usually have, I find that if I eat in the morning, I have less energy than if I just have my protein shake. Like if I have my protein shake and then I eat at like 5 p.m., I just have that one meal and I have more energy throughout the day.
Oh, hold on. So you're having a protein shake in the morning, right?
No, I'll have some fruit in the morning and some water And then after that, when I come back from the gym around mid-afternoon, 11,
That's
10.
morning time. Yeah,
Okay.
that's morning. So
Okay.
you have an approach. So technically you're eating in the morning. So a liquid meal is still a meal. Because that's
Okay.
what your body does anyway. Your body liquefies all the food. So technically, whether it's liquid or solid, it's still a meal.
Okay, got you.
But the thing is, the difference is when you have the drink, right? You're able to make sure that there's literally nothing else inside the drink besides your nutrients. So you've refined your body to where you could feel the lag or the impurities in the fuel source. It's like a car that's running good. You could tell when your car is running on 87 versus 93. You could feel the difference. You know what I'm saying? And so when you get in tune a little bit with your body, you start to be able to feel a difference. Like when you put, okay, it's this protein with the kale and the this and the that and the this, it's nothing but good stuff in that blender. So that's a meal, but it's 100% nutrients in there. When you cooked up something, there's some other stuff up in there. So yeah, your body can feel it. And some of that stuff just might be out of sync with your body.
So like the meal, if I do eat, it'll be eggs and toast and grits.
Yeah, that's oil and water right there. That's why you feel it, because that's totally opposite of what you're doing with the smoothie. The smoothie is high energy, right? The eggs, grits, and toast, that's like a brick in your stomach. That's go to sleep food. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's that old school smoke a cigarette, take a nap food right there. That ain't the same. Those ain't even in the same ballpark right there.
That's my favorite.
Right. Yeah. And listen, our favorites are the ones that kill us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's, how many grandmas killed, like Granny. Listen, we love Granny, but Granny was out here. Granny is like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like Granny was out here killing, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's how it go. You know what I'm saying? Like Leatherface. Granny is Leatherface out here. We love everything Granny making, but that food was putting folks into body bags. Like, yeah. So, like that's.
So
that's
the eggs, toast, and grits is killing me?
Well, listen, you got a lot of things going on that offsets, like everybody has lifestyle. So it's one thing to just isolate and talk crazy about food, but it's really about what you're eating and then what you're doing and how you're living and what your goals are and what your day looks like and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, say for instance, I'm having pork franks with a bag of pork rinds and a Pepsi and, what else? 2-3 cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's lunch, right? And I'm a security guard at a place.
It go down good with the cigarettes too. I gotta tell you, it goes down great with the cigarettes.
Listen, and I'm gonna sit down for 8 hours as a security guard guy, and I'm gonna have me a couple donuts while I'm, sitting down. And then I'm gonna get off work and I'm gonna go sit in the car and drive back to the house and pick up a little something on the way, and I'm gonna have me some hamburgers. Beef burgers is different than hamburgers. Pork is the origin, right? So I'm gonna have me some hamburgers and greasy, like that's gonna hit way different than say, a guy he doing 5-10 miles running. He gonna have them same 2 cigarettes, that same pork rind Pepsi program. He gonna spend 2 hours in the gym. He got a young girlfriend. They having sex for 2 hours a night, and he's getting his heart rate up, and he's running through. He might be burning 4,000 or 5,000 calories a day. His body electricity is so much higher. He's got a buffer. He can play with, a lot more toxins and things that we consider to be less healthy than others than somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like the other person, that's the sedentary lifestyle. They sit down for extended amounts of time per day, cutting the blood flow, and, they got a high amount of triglycerides, and they just, their body is burning 1,000 calories a day, but they're consuming 3,000-4,000 calories. Like they doodle maybe twice a week. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have good bowel movement, turnaround. Like it's so many other things that confuse, like, because when we have like hypothetical discussions, it's like we're discussing like eggs, grits, and toast, and it's like, like what else is going on with the eggs, grits, and the toast? Like, what does this human look like? You know what I'm saying? Because that's really going to tell us what this eggs, grits, and toast. And then even there's room within the conversation. Because eggs, like, how are we doing those eggs? Like, what's going on with them eggs?
We scrambling those in olive oil.
There's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Scrambled in olive oil, scrambled in lard. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's, what kind of eggs are those? Is that the
sometimes
the
I
store
scramble
brand,
them in
or
butter.
is that the store brand, or is that the cage free?
I get
vitamin. Like, is that?
I get the brown eggs.
My point is, it's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? How fast is your body turning over cholesterol? Right. So if you're consuming a lot of eggs and meats and things like that, a lot of oils, and you have high cholesterol, that means, or say for instance, you wake up every morning and your thing is not hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have that salute in the morning. Well, that means your testosterone is low. If your testosterone is low, that means you have a slow cholesterol turnover. So that means that you have cholesterol issues and you have liver problems, right? So if you have cholesterol issues, liver problems, so it's just a lot of room.
Now I take Apex, so when I wake up in the morning, you know what I'm saying, it just I be, ain't nothing wrong with my yang, okay? Right. We have full attention when I wake up. All right, just want to make sure everybody understands.
But you move around, you active, you got a lot of water going on.
Yeah.
And, some people don't drink water. You got a lot of people like, I don't like water. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like water? That's the same as like, I don't like living. Like, what do you mean you don't like water? Like, what do you mean you don't like water? Oh, I don't like the taste. I'm like, water literally doesn't have a taste. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's oxygen and hydrogen. It's two gases. The mystery is, why is it a liquid thing in the first place? Like,
but water got a taste, because Fiji tastes different from Poland Spring, and Poland Spring tastes different from just water. And
now we getting into technicalities, because the type of water and the source of the water has other stuff in it. So what you're tasting is the other stuff, right? So if you get artesian, typically you're going to have a mineral profile, right? So it's going to be bicarbonates, magnesium heavy, right? If you go on spring, it's going to be less bicarbonates, less magnesium, more calcium. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's other stuff that's in the water that's giving the water the taste. But yeah, water technically doesn't, we don't really have receptors for actual water. Like, there's no receptors to pick up. Unless you start to do the Cajun machine thing, and then you're breaking down, you like making fake water molecules. And so, we have receptors for protons, like positive hydrogen ions. We have receptors for that. That's acid, that's bitters. That's what citric acid, when we eat a lemon, what we're picking up is the concentration of positive hydrogen ions. That gives us the bitter taste and lights up our brain. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but yeah, we don't really have.
So the activity is very important when we combine that with whatever it is that we're eating. Is the important key here?
Period. Activity is important. Like, literally, your body is designed from activity. Like, everything is designed on activity. Like, that's how your body works. It's a movement-based system. Yeah, it's a movement-based system. Luxury is killing us. We've got this idea of luxury. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, we got the programming from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s of being like, the short guy with the bald head and the fat stomach. Like, that's what wealth looks like. So we've got that seared into our memories. Like, that's what wealthy guys look like. Short, fat, bald guys with fat stomachs. You know what I'm saying? And
that's a symbol of wealth. Arabs run like that. Jews run like that. Yeah,
that's not wealth. That is disease. We've got to create a new, and so that's what I stand for, is the smashing of all this foolishness and then recreating new ideas and new paradigms and, paradigm shifts. Like, no, they're not eating good. They're eating a lot. Like, there's a difference between, oh, yo, you gaining weight. You must be eating good. No. He's just eating a lot. That's all. He's not eating. It's not good or bad. It's eating a lot, because people that come from generations of money, they don't really have that issue. Is when you come into new money and you haven't had money before, that you start eating all over the place, because there's so many different things you've never tasted, and you've never really had the ability to eat as much as you wanted before, because finances, like poverty, helps you. We don't realize that poverty saves folks from themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't really get to go full steam with anything, because money will limit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even get, like, crackheads, they got to start stealing stuff. Like, that's when a crackhead becomes a crackhead when they run out of money. They don't become a crackhead when they start smoking crack. They become a crackhead when they run out of money. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a bunch of functional drug addicts that you just don't know are crackheads, meth heads, heroin addicts, all of that. They at your job, teachers in the school system, like, they all over the place. Mayors, they everywhere. City council, all this, it's all kinds of. It's not until their habit exceeds their ability to fund their habit that they become the other thing. The alcoholic now becomes the wino. The guy that's at the bar every night buying drinks for everybody, champagne and all that, he looks like a fun, happy party goer. No. These guys are alcoholics. Just because they're drinking expensive liquor and champagne 5 days a week or 4 days a week, that's an alcoholic. It's just, but the lifestyle, he's, everything is, so yeah, he's celebrating, but no, he's an alcoholic. Like, it's just, when the money gets funny, then it looks different. You just smoke weed, or are you a weed head? Like, if you don't have money to get no weed, now you come face to face with the fact that weed is a drug. You've been looking on the internet and you done heard all this medical cannabis foolishness about cancer and glaucoma and all this and all that. You thinking, oh no, this is a natural plant. This ain't a drug. Okay. We'll see what happens when the money runs out. Once the money runs out and you can't buy you a bag of weed, you have no appetite. So you can't eat until you get high. Congratulations. You just figured out you're a drug addict. It's nighttime. You have no money to buy you a bag of weed. You can't go to sleep. You're up ready to kill somebody for some weed. You're like, yo, I cannot get to sleep. This is crazy. You mad, cranky? Yeah. Congratulations. You just figured out you're a drug addict, right? But if you have money, and so you always have weed whenever you want to smoke it, you never actually bump up against those issues, because if you need, you want to smoke, you just roll up and do your thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you're good. Or maybe you're in a situation where you can't do that. So you have yourself a little edible or gummy, or, get you a little vape pen. You figure out a way to facilitate your THC habit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, let that money get funny. You're going to find out quickly that you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how it goes.
So you got to pick one. Last question here. You got to pick one. Crack or sugar? Which one is going to be the superfood compared to the other? Which one is going to be more detrimental to your health?
Well,
Crack
here's the problem.
or sugar?
Hold. Here's the problem. You're not actually asking me two different questions. So you didn't really give me two different options. Crack is a carbohydrate. And it's plant-based. So, I mean, what are we doing? So, yeah, really the question highlights the dangers of ignorance and not understanding. Like we forget. See, this is what I be telling folks. I just have a unique perspective because of where I'm from. I be telling people, like, listen, people been living plant-based lifestyle a long time out here. Plant-based lifestyle. When somebody tells like, yeah, I sell heroin. You plant-based lifestyle then, because that's heroin is plant-based. You selling crack, you using crack, all that's plant-based lifestyle right there. Like it's just, what side of the plant-based lifestyle you've been on. Like, it's plant-based lifestyle is out here now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so, you know, it's a different world out here. You know, you know. So yeah, it's, you know, yeah, you would have to, yeah, I would need another question. You know what I'm saying? I would have to go to another question. That one right there, because sugar is more addictive than cocaine. And, you know, you probably want to deal with the devil that you know is a devil versus the devil that you don't know is a devil. So, you know, crackheads know every time that they're getting ready to get high, while they're getting high and after they're getting high, that they're on crack. And they know that they need to get off of it and leave it alone. But people on sugar, oh my goodness. Even in 2025, people are very confused. You got people wasting a whole bunch of money and don't realize that they could save their money and just get Domino sugar instead.
just eat the sugar.
If you're eating sugar, just eat sugar. Like, you don't need to spend 10 times as much money on the sugar to fool yourself into thinking that you're having something else. You're having sugar. Yeah, if you're putting honey in instead of sugar, you're having sugar.
But the chocolate chip cookies hit different though.
Well, here's the thing. Are we talking dark chocolate or milk chocolate? You know what I'm saying? Like, milk chocolate is sugar. That's 100%. Yeah, you might as well just be having some sugar, right? But if you're talking dark chocolate, then you're having the taste of the bitters and the cacao and the chocolate. You know, it's a different taste. You know what I'm saying? But most people, that chocolate, the idea of chocolate is milk chocolate, which is just mostly sugar and milk. It's very little chocolate is involved with milk chocolate.
I put cacao in my shake every day.
Yeah.
I like that stuff.
There's a lot of stuff out there that's just sugar. You know what I'm saying? Turbinado, brown sugar. Oh my God. And people think like, oh, I got
brown sugar. I don't use white sugar. The white sugar, that's the white man sugar. I use the brown sugar.
Right. Like, the white man doesn't own that company. Like, we got to stop this madness. We have to stop this madness. Like, listen, you know who comes up with these ideas? White folks. Because they realize, listen, you can take business courses and they'll teach you the controlled opposition philosophy. Like, yeah, no. Like, it was a guy that was on one of these YouTube things. He's like, I'm gonna teach you how to be a millionaire off of YouTube. So he'd be like, you make one YouTube channel and you come up with this idea, and then you create another YouTube anonymous channel to go against that channel. And so people don't know that both of those is your channel. Like, it's, yeah, no. The guy coming up with this was the white man sugar. That's all. And some of that brown sugar is not even brown sugar. It's white sugar with molasses. Like, that's this. No. We got to stop this madness. Yeah, it's a lot of craziness out here, man. The anal chakra philosophy extends to the supermarket. Like, this is all gobbledygook. This is why Black folks sick.
It's why we sick.
Yeah, it's up here. And we didn't got the idea in our mind that we don't have to read. And that is like, oh my God, like, everybody is like, that's the breath of fresh air. Like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, for your ops, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, thank God they're not reading. Oh, we can tell them anything. They don't know, they don't read. So they don't know how to discern. If you don't read the concepts that you need to understand, like, it's going to be, so you need to read just for exercise. Let me say this. You need to read for exercise, right? You have to get your weight up. It's like in the gym. You can't go bench press 200 pounds before you bench press 150. You can't bench press 150 before you bench press 100. You can't bench press even 100 if you're going to start off at least probably with some push-ups or just using the empty bar. You know what I'm saying? The bar alone, 45 pounds. You know, you got to work with that bar for a little while before they put you some 5s and 10s on there and build you on up. So what happens is the actual life-saving and life-changing conversations, those happens at the collegiate level or beyond. Collegiate level or beyond. So now, once we realize that America is at a 5th grade reading level and Black folks is at a 4th or 3rd grade reading level, for the most part, it's not everybody. Those life-changing conversations, you're confused because it's in English and you understand the words. You're just not smart enough to understand that you don't understand the concepts. So this is how you be like, oh, yeah. I know about all that melanin stuff. And then somebody be like, okay, cool. Explain to me Alzheimer's. Go. Be like, so Alzheimer's is, you start forgetting stuff and, brain stop working, huh? Well, you hit the camera, break it down. Neuromelanin, that's because that's melanin with nerves on it. Like, and then the worst part of that is that gets 100,000 views, and we don't understand why it gets 100,000 views. To go back to my original point, we think that, like, because if we're the person, right, or we're a fan of the person, we think that got 100,000 views because he broke it down. Like, oh, he killed it. Yo, Pharaoh killed it. That got 100,000 views. No. That video is being used by all of the white folks and the Europeans and even the Africans and Caribbeans that say American blacks are stupid. And they're using those videos as examples, showing their people, like, look at this. No. This is who you like. This is your king. You know what I'm saying? Like, they having the Black Panther moment. Like, this is your king right here. Like, this right here is what you call. So this is the smart community. This is the smartest of these guys. So think about what the average Black American man, what his intellect level is this is the intelligent, like, this is the creme de la creme right here. He says neuromelanin has nerves on it. Like, this is, there's melanin in the water, there's melanin in the air. Like, the sun is literally condensed melanin. Like, bro, it's wild out here.
So the moral of the story is people are watching the content because it's stupid.
Bro, why do you think Umar Johnson does that? Why do you think Umar says everything at least 3 or 4 times in his live streams? He'd be like, now listen, it's Dr. Umar. Now listen, it's Dr. Umar. Now listen, it's Dr. Umar. Now I'm trying to come out to see y'all in North Carolina. I said, I'm trying to come see y'all in North Carolina. Listen, I'm coming out to see y'all in North Carolina. I'd be like, yeah, I can't listen to this dude for more than 12 seconds. We got like Tourette's syndrome. Or he's like, what the? I'm like, yo. But as an educator, Umar is privy to that information. And he understands that you can communicate to people that's a little bit slow if you talk slower and you repeat yourself more times. So he appeals to a certain demographic. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is why early on I got comfortable with less subscribers, because I realized I just want to be associated with the smart people. And the people that realize that they don't know something and they want to be the smart people. Like, I'm with the smart people and the want to be smart people, because depending on what we're talking about, I fit into one of those 2 categories. I'm either I know about the subject or I want to know about it. So I might be, ignorant to the subject and I want to learn more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to be with the people that don't know what they're talking about, but they pretend like they do. Like, that's where it becomes dangerous, because nobody knows everything. But once you pretend like you know, and then you're getting up in front of people as I'm the leader, I'm starting a community, and melanin's in the water, and we're just watching gay porn all day, and I'm like, no, bro, come on, man. This is crazy.
Yeah, I was diving into my communist studies, and I was getting really deep into it, and I ran across a couple of terms. So I typed the terms into YouTube because I like to supplement what like my reading. I like to reinforce it with some videos or some audio. And when I typed the term in, only one university course popped up, and it had like only 1,000 views. And I was like, yo, I was listening to it, and I've listened to this lecture literally at least 10 times. It's 15 minutes long, and I've listened to it at least 10 times. So I'm trying to memorize it. But this is one of the best lectures on a subject I've ever heard. Only 1,000. Yeah. The rest of the foolish shit out there, you get no information. You get no information. Hundreds of thousands of views, and I'm like, there's nothing in this video for me, and it's got 100,000 views.
But that's because of the lack of education. So the lower down the education level, the lower the the eye catching, like, you know, it's like pie in the face. I can't laugh at that. I don't even think slapstick is funny. Like, slapstick's not funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I even need something to be like, it doesn't, you know, but it appeals to some folks. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like it's here. Let me put this. Let me put something. Let me hit the share screen one time. Let me share something on the share screen.
Not a fan of a lot of Navy SEALs.
Hold up. Let me share something one time. I want to share this because this is a great example of like definitions, you know, like this is a great example. Let me see if I can share this.
Yeah, some NLP stuff. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Bam. Okay. Now I want to share that window. Boom. You see that? Now here is, wait, what is it? Can you see that? Can the people see that on the screen?
Yeah, they can see that.
Okay. So here is a great example, right? Because we're in this window of time where all the rappers are mysteriously getting criminal indictments and nobody knows why. And everybody has conspiracies like, oh, it's racism. Oh, it's classism. Oh, they're just trying to snatch the money back from the young millionaires and blah, 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 blah. No, it's people being illiterate because you didn't realize what you signed up for. You didn't realize what you signed up for. The word rap, right, which is the root word of rapper, it literally means criminal indictment. Yeah, this is it right here. Boop, criminal indictment, right? Old school, rap sheet, right? So if we just understand, right? So I just wanted to show that example right there. Like, if we just understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a little bit of literacy would go a long way out here. Like, it just puts a lot of stuff in perspective. Like, wait a minute, did that say criminal indictment? Wait, is the etymology of the word rap criminal indictment? So hold on, when I sign a rap contract, am I signing up to have a criminal indictment? Interesting. So that means at some point in my career, I have to have a criminal indictment because I signed up a contract for this. Like, literally, this is a part of my deal here. I signed up to be a rapper, a career criminal, and I'm signing up to promote criminal lifestyle, which tends to lead to a criminal indictment. I mean, that's kind of how that works.
Oh, there you have it, folks. Another KeMedicine in the books. Y'all ate good tonight. Y'all ate good tonight again.
No, they all mad with me though. They all mad with me, courtesy of Hotep Jesus. Right now, they all mad with me. I was spreading goodwill and cheer. Thank you, sir.
We'll be back next week. We'll talk about botany oil. But before y'all go, we got the moon rocks on sale. Okay, we got the moon. Okay. I'm letting these go. All right, I'm letting these go.
Listen, it's the end of the show. You might as well do buy one, get one free with the angel checks. Like, you buy the moon rock, you get the angel checks free. You might as well put that together.
We'll do. You buy the moon rocks, you get the angel checks half off. We can't do free angel checks. That's not gonna work with the universe. Here you go, right here, the moon rocks. Okay, the moon rocks is right here. All right, you want to talk to your grandma, your ancestors. Okay, you want good luck. You know, you want to activate your melanin. If you put it to your forehead, it'll activate your pineal gland and open up your third eye. Okay, you got to lay down and just let it sit on your head for 30 minutes and don't move. Okay, $2.99. Cash at me, $299. I send you these moon rocks. Get one moon rock, $2.99, half off the angel checks. Just type in your birth date so we can align you with the star system that you come from. Okay, you want to align you with the star.
I just feel sorry because somebody's going to purchase one of these things.
Okay, all right. Just send me your date of birth, and I'll find out what star constellation, you know, that your soul comes from. Okay, your soul comes from a certain star constellation. So.
Yo.
All right. Shout out Willie Will.
Oh, this a real hotel brother.
Man.
I'm just saying, you know. Good stuff, man. Me and Inky working on the project, top secret project coming out soon.
Secret.
But we're working on something for you guys. Outside of the moon rocks and the angel checks, that's separate.
No, that is, yeah, no. I'm not a part of the moon rocks. The views and opinions.
The moon rocks, you buy those from me, okay? You buy the moon rocks from me, the angel checks from me, okay? But me and Inky, we working on something separate. We gonna hit y'all all soon, okay? We gonna hit y'all soon. Hey, good shit tonight, bro.
Always glad to be in a place, man.
All right, I'm gonna see y'all tomorrow for TGR 2 p.m. I'm out of here, man.
Peace.
Yeah, in the IB, where the post they lie. Electron spin, got a rhythm to survive.